All right. So lesson 3 will be inferential statistics. So just now we moved from data to information. So now we're moving from information to facts. So all the testing will come, hypothesis testing, other things. And then from there, when we gain knowledge. So first step, you move to information. We know what's a mean, what's a median, what's the frequency, percentages. Now you go into facts. So that's making inference. So from the population, we took a sample. After knowing the sample values of what's a mean, what's a median, what can you say about the population parameter, right? This is called statistic. Example, sample mean is 28. That's statistic. What can I say about the population mean? That's called parameter, right? So basically, we're going to test something based on the sample. What can I say about the population at large? So there are two methods of doing this. One is called inference. So one is called hypothesis testing. Two methods of making inference. One is hypothesis testing. We talked about hypothesis in the last class and estimation. So what's the basic difference between these two? Hypothesis, to test a parameter in a population. To test, the keyword is a test. Whether answer will be with a yes or no. Whereas here, to estimate, to determine where the parameter is. Here, to test if the parameter is a certain value, right? So basically, to test parameter differ between two populations. This example, okay? This one population differ from two populations example. Whereas here to estimate, instead of testing, go to estimate one population or to estimate the difference in the two populations. The keywords are test and estimate. In this, normally we use a p-value. Just now we just use p-value for testing normality, right? The same p-value here. Like the p-value is less than 0.05, therefore there's a difference. We're asking whether the difference here between the two, the evidence comes through this p-value. If it is less than 0.05, we say there is a difference. Just now we say test the normality, the p-value less than 0.05, the data is not normally distributed. In this kind of example, testing within two populations, if the p-value less than 0.05, we're going to say there is a difference or they are not the same. Whereas here, you're going to build a confidence interval. Confidence interval, like our example, 95% confidence interval for the mean, 22 to 25. That means we are confident 95%. The mean in the population will fall between 20 and 25. Why do you have this? Because we're not studying the entire population. You're only taking a sample. Therefore, there will be some error. We call it margin of error. There will be some margin of error, right? So this incorporates marginal error. This just checks the p-value to make inference. SPSS for most analysis give both. So it can be, most of the time, we just make objective, use confidence interval. Hypothesis testing, what's H null, H alternative, can use a p-value. Example, right? The population mean is 25 versus population mean is not 25. This is called null hypothesis, this alternative. So perform a test, the p-value less than 0.05, we say reject H null and accept alternative. The p-value more than 0.05, we say we do not reject H null. Evidence not enough to reject this. Never say accept the null. Null hypothesis formulated with the intention of rejecting it. Either you reject it or you fail to reject it, that's all, based on the evidence we have. Whereas here, confidence interval, The objective, determine the population mean. So construct an interval. So you don't do this manually anymore. One click button, SPS will give you, you just interpret, right? Supposing the p-value is less than 0.05, we say the mean is not 25. That's all you can say. Doesn't tell where. It's not 25, then where is it? Whereas this will tell you, with a confidence of 95%, the mean is between these two. Nowadays, papers published, you want this more than the p-value itself. So this tells you exactly where it may fall, right? This doesn't tell you, only tells you whether 25, yes or no, right? Later we'll see in examples, we see how to interpret the p-values and also the confidence interval, right? So in hypothesis testing, there's a possibility of making two types of error. Remember, the error is not a mistake, it's part and parcel of the system, the whole thing. So the nature, the hypothesis nature, like this one here, H null, may be true, this may be true, or maybe not. So maybe true, maybe false. Based on data we collect, we make the two decisions, either one. Reject the truth or fail to reject the false. The green boxes, this box here, reject, right? Reject the false. That's the correct thing to do. Do not reject the truth. That's the correct thing to do. By rejecting truth, we are said to be committing an error, which we call it type 1 error, to differentiate between these two. So type 1 error is said to be committed when the truth is rejected. Actually, it's true. You are forced to reject it because of evidence. Type 2 error is said to be committed when the false is not rejected. If you give an analogy. Now, the suspect, when it's arrested, is either murderer or innocent. There's no 50-50. You kill the person or not, that's all. Nobody knows what happened there. Suspect, either murderer or innocent. So all the court, right? The witnesses be called, finally the judge makes a decision to free or hang. Suspect, either murderer or innocent. Final judgment, to free or hang. So this yellow box, can you describe this, what's happening here? This yellow box, we call it error. Why do we call it error? Why do I call this error? The green box, is it okay? What are you doing in this green box here?
It says the murderer is innocent.
Yeah?
The murderer is innocent.
No. This box here, you go this way, free, innocent. So what are you doing here? Yeah? Freeing.
Innocent,
innocent.
free.
Right. Yeah, freeing and innocent. Is it the right thing to do?
Yes.
Yes. What are you doing here?
You hang the murderer.
Hang the murderer. Right thing to do?
Yes.
Right. What are you doing here?
You let go of that. I mean, you free the murderer.
Free the murderer. Is it right thing to do?
No.
No.
Why?
Wrong
Yes.
decision.
Yeah, why? The murderer goes free. What will happen?
You will kill more people.
More murders will take place outside. So what's happening here?
Innocent got killed. Got hanged.
Innocent, you hang him. Is it okay?
No.
Why not? Murderer, free him, more murder outside. Innocent, you hang him, what happens?
You are the murderer.
Huh? Say again?
We are the murderer now.
No, it's not you, it's a decision. It's not a mistake. The evidence came as such, right? So, hang the innocent. What happens outside? You free the murderer. What happens outside?
More murderer.
More murders. You hang an innocent. What happens outside?
Nothing.
Nothing happens. So type 1 error is analogous to murderer being free. Type 2 error, innocent being hanged. So between type 1, type 2 error, which is more serious?
Type 1.
Type 1.
Type 1 is more serious, right? So now we want to give a probability, set a probability of committing type 1, type 2 errors, right? So again, go back to the nature, type 1 error. Type 1 error said it committed, the tool is rejected. Now we're going to set a p-value, probability value. P-value is just probability value, symbol alpha, right? So p-value is the probability of committing type 1 error. It's not test of normality. We talked about p-value. So what's p-value? Committing type 1 error. Remember the normal distribution, the tail area. So symbol is alpha. Symbol is alpha. Alpha is a p-value. Probability of committing type 1 error. Probability. What's the range for probability? What's the range for probability value? What's the range between
0 to 1.
0 to 1? 0 means what? Not possible
Won't
at
happen.
all. Won't happen at all. 1 means
Confirm will
definitely
happen.
confirm will happen. So we know this p-value will range from 0 to 1. This p-value is the type 1 error, right? Bigger the better, smaller the better. This error, bigger the better, smaller the better.
Smaller.
Smaller. How small? Usually alpha set at 0.05. Right? That's why just now straight away say, check whether more than or less than 0.05. So that is a general consensus. People are set at 0.05. So type 2 error. Okay. So example in this case, right? Example. P-value less than 0.05. Like just now, whether it's normal, p-value less than 0.05, not normal. So in this case, example testing where the population means 25. If the p-value comes less than 0.05, we say reject H null. It's not true. And take the alternative. If the p-value is more than 0.05, we cannot reject H null. We just maintain it. Perhaps the mean is still 25. Yeah. So that's what we are talking about here. P-value type 1 error, we set as 5%. Anything less than 5%, most likely it's not true, rejected. More than 5%, perhaps true, maintain it. Right? So that's what you're going to do. Power of the test. You already talked about type 1 error, must be less than 5%. Type 2 error, by general consensus, must be less than 20%. So beta is a symbol for type 2 error. Beta is set at 20%. Alpha set at 5%. Right? Beta bigger the better, smaller the better. Beta bigger the better, smaller the better. Beta bigger the better, smaller the better.
Smaller.
Smaller. How small? Less than 20%. The beta is 20.2. What's 1 minus beta? Beta is 0.2. What's 1 minus beta?
0.8.
Right. Beta is the probability of committing type 2 error. Beta is the probability of committing type 2 error. So what's 1 minus beta?
0.8.
No, beta, generally beta.
Oh.
Beta is the probability of committing type 2 error. Beta ranges from 0 to 1. So what's 1 minus beta?
Not-
0.
Not committing
Oh,
error.
not committing is 1.
Ah. So not committing, we emphasize on this. The beta's probability committing error, not committing error must be 1 minus beta, right?
Yes.
The beta ranges 0 to 1, right? So beta is error. 1 minus beta means no error, right? Yes or not?
Yes.
Okay, there's a 10% chance it will rain. 10% chance will rain. How can I say in a different way? The
That's just
10% chance it will rain. Put it differently.
there's a small chance that it will rain.
Put it differently, oppositely.
Percent will not be raining.
90% chance won't be raining.
Or sunny day, something like that.
So rain, don't rain, right?
Mm.
So here you make an error. This is no error, right?
Yes.
Not committing error. Beta is committing error. 1 minute beta is not
Not committing error. Mhm. Okay, okay.
We set this 20%, then 1 minus beta must be 80%, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Set this less than 20%, then 1 minus beta must be more than 80%. That's what we want in any studies. That's called the power of the test. Somebody asks you how powerful is a test. We say, my test is 90% powerful, means what? Your probability of not committing error is 90%, right?
It's more than 80%. Yes.
Now, if I say my power is 90, forget about this. If I
Oh.
say my power is 90%, that means not committing errors 90%, isn't it?
Yes.
How much is error then?
Less than 10%.
It's 10%, right?
Yes.
10%, is it less than 20%?
Yes.
Yes.
That's good. Supposing my power is 60%. 60% not committing error. What percentage commit error?
40%.
40%. Is it
Yep.
more than 20?
Yes.
Yes,
That's not good.
no good.
No good. So later in calculating sample size, we consider two things. One is alpha. Other one is power. We set alpha less than 5%, power more than 80% to calculate the ideal sample size. Remember earlier, the previous lesson, population size 10,000. I took 500. Ask you what's the justification? My justification is behind this scene. Type 1, type 2 error. To minimize type 1 error, minimize type 2 error, how big a sample size must be? In this example, to minimize type 1, type 2 error, where is it? What does it mean, minimize type 1 error? In this context, what does it mean, minimize type 1 error? What does it mean to minimize type 1 error?
Increase your confidence interval.
No. Basically, what does it mean to say reduce type 1 error?
More sample to reduce the error. I don't know.
To avoid making wrong.
Yeah, I'm only asking, what is the meaning of reducing type 1 error here? Prevent many murderers going free, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes or not?
Yes.
What about type 2 error? To minimize type 2 error means what?
To avoid hanging the innocent.
Avoid, to prevent,
To prevent.
innocent being hanged.
Mm.
This is to prevent murderers being freed. This is prevent, right? Innocent being hanged, isn't it? Sorry, this hang to minimize type 2 error means to reduce the chances of innocent being hanged, isn't it? A reduced type 1 error, type 2 error here means what? Type 2 error is what? Hanging innocent, right?
Yes.
So minimize type 2 error means what? Minimize the chances of an innocent being hanged, right?
Yes.
Type 1 error is what? Freeing the murderer, right?
Yes.
So you want to say minimize type 1 error means what?
Minimize
Minimize
freeing the murderer.
murdering feel free. Right?
Yes.
So when I say this must be less than 5%, this must be less than 20%, what does it mean? 5% means what? What is 5%?
5% error.
No, 5%
The
means
big mistake,
5 over
free
100, right?
Free the murderer.
No, 5% means 5 over 100, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It means out of 100 murderers, the most you can free is 5. Don't free more than that.
Yeah.
Very difficult to prove the guy is a murderer, but out of 100 murderers, you can't let go more than 5. You let go more than 5, more murders take place. Out of
Professor,
100, yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Because the type 1 and type 2 errors,
Ah.
is it generally it was set the percentage of the type 1 error is 5%,
Yes.
and the type 2 is normally 20%. Is a
Yes.
generally accepted
General
group?
consensus. General consensus. Generally acceptable, right? Okay. Supposing my p-value 0.04 means what? My p-value 0.04 means what?
That
The
means
probability of freeing a murderer is 4%, right? Is it less than 5%?
Yes.
Most likely the guy is murderer. What about here? Supposing my beta here is 40%. What does it mean?
It's more than 20%.
More than 20%. Out of 100 people, 100 innocent, you're going to hang 40 people. That must be small. 20% means what? Out of 100 murderers, you can hang 20. Don't hang more than that. Literally, that's what it means, right?
Yes.
But you want to minimize both, right?
Yes.
Minimize both. How do you do that? How does a court do? Court call witness after witness, right?
Yes.
The judge called witness, many witnesses.
Mm.
So in your research, same thing, you're going to take sample size, which is big enough to take care of type 1 and type 2 errors. So in a sample size calculation, let's say I got 500. How did you know? I set this 5%, set this 80%, 1 minus that, or 20%, and I put some other parameters. I get my minimum sample size. That's called sample size calculation. Justify why 500, how you got 500. So do this in another lesson. Right now, what's type 1? What's type 2 error? The rest of these modules, you will need to talk about type 1 error, not so much a type 2 errors. Right?
Okay.
Okay, later we'll see an example how it plays a role. Questions? Let's power the test. I don't want to go into this. Again, back to the table again. The same table, same tail area. That's called the p-value. Right? You see here Z. As Z increases from 0, the p-value, the area under the curve decreases, right?
Yes.
As the Z increases, 0.5 center reduces, area reduces. Yeah, here is 50%. The further you move to the right, the area under the curve becoming lesser and lesser. That means what? Type 1 error going to be lesser and lesser. So most likely you'll be rejecting your H0. Later we'll see this in application. Questions?